Why Hayley Mills still refuses to watch this one episode she filmed. In 1961, Hayley Mills was born as Hayley Catherine Rose Vivian Mills on April 18, 1946, in London, England. She came from a family with strong connections to entertainment. Her father was John Mills, a well-known British actor, and her mother was Mary Hayley Bell, who wrote plays and novels. Because she grew up in such an artistic home, Hayley was introduced to acting, theater, and books from an early age. Her father had already built a successful career in theater and movies, and her mother's creative nature helped create a home that supported imagination, self-expression, and artistic growth. This supportive environment was important in developing Hayley's early love for performing and her later success as an international star. Hayley Mills started acting when she was a child, showing remarkable talent that made her stand out. She appeared in her first film at age 11 in Tiger Bay, 1959, where her natural ability on screen and emotional range earned her instant praise from critics. She won the BAFTA Award for Most Promising Newcomer for this role, which was an incredible accomplishment for someone so young. This early success showed her natural acting skills and made her one of the most talented child actors of her time. During this time, Hayley's charm, innocence, and charisma became her trademark qualities, attracting audiences of all ages to watch her work. Her work with Walt Disney Studios became a major part of her career. Hayley Mills became famous through several Disney movies in the 1960s, starting with Pollyanna, 1960. In this movie, she played the always optimistic Pollyanna, bringing warmth, humor, and a timeless feeling of hope to the character. Her performance was praised not just for her acting, but also for the genuine emotion she gave to the role, making her an inspiration for young viewers around the world. She continued with more successful Disney films, including The Parent Trap, 1961, where she notably played twin sisters who were separated at birth, meet at summer camp, and planned to bring their divorced parents back together. The movie showed her range as she skillfully portrayed two different characters, proving her rare talent for timing, detail, and screen presence. These films established her reputation as one of Disney's most loved stars and created a lasting impact that still connects her with fans across generations. Audiences loved her ability to mix humor, charm, and emotional depth, and the film is still a cherished classic, often mentioned as one of the best family movies of the 1960s. Other important Disney films included In Search of the Castaways, 1962, and Summer Magic, 1963, both of which further strengthened her reputation as a skilled and dependable performer who could lead major films while connecting deeply with audiences of all ages. As Hayley grew from child star to adult actress, she dealt with the struggles that many former child actors face, trying to reshape her career while keeping her artistic values. She successfully made this change, continuing to work in movies, television, and theater throughout her adult years. Important adult roles include her appearance in The Trouble with Angels, 1966, a film that showed her ability to balance humor with serious drama, as well as her stage work, where she received praise for her performances in shows that required more complex and mature acting. Her ability to work in different formats, film, television, and theater, showed her staying power in an industry that is often harsh to former child stars. Starting in 1981, she took on a significant leading role in the television version of The Flame Trees of Thika, a rich period drama that immediately displayed her talent for playing characters with emotional complexity and quiet power. Her performance in the series wasn't just another job on her list. It marked the start of a new phase in her career, one where audiences saw her grow from a young star into a mature, layered actress who could carry a story with grace and subtlety. Over the following years, she continued to make her mark on British television, taking on various roles that showed her flexibility. Whether she appeared in dramas, mysteries, or group productions, she brought a consistent, engaging energy to every project. In 1988, she returned to movies in the British mystery film Appointment with Death, where she played a supporting role that brought tension and mystery to the Agatha Christie-inspired story. Even though she wasn't the main character, her performance added depth to the movie's talented cast. For nearly 20 years after that, she picked her on-camera work more carefully. But when she did return, audiences paid attention. In 2011, she appeared in the touching British comedy drama Foster, also called Angel of Mine in some places, giving a soft, understated supporting performance that reminded viewers of her natural warmth and screen appeal. Around the same time, she joined the cast of the popular TV drama Wild at Heart, appearing in a supporting role during the show's successful run from 2007 to 2012. The series, set against the beautiful landscapes of South Africa, gave her another opportunity to shine in a story full of adventure, family relationships, and emotional storytelling. Her most recent television appearance was in the moving British anthology series Moving On, where she appeared in a single episode. Even with limited time on screen, she brought a realistic, emotional honesty to the role, the kind of performance that reminds longtime fans why they connected with her originally. Beyond her on-screen work, Hayley Mills also became an important figure in television, theater, and voice acting. Her contributions to the arts have been recognized through many awards and honors, celebrating not only her performances but also her influence as a pioneering figure in the entertainment world. Mills has inspired many actors, especially women and child performers, proving that it's possible to move from early fame to a respected and lasting career.
In 1966, while filming the British comedy drama The Family Way, a young Hayley Mills, who was just 20 years old, met the experienced and much older director Roy Bolting, who was 53 at the time. Their meeting started a complicated relationship that would eventually result in marriage. Bolting, already a well-known figure in British cinema, had a reputation for his careful directing style and his long-time influence in the film business. For Mills, this relationship was a major personal and emotional connection, despite a significant age difference of over 3 decades. 5 years later, in 1971, the couple made their union official through marriage, showing a commitment that mixed their professional and personal lives together. They kept homes that reflected both their city lifestyle and country preferences, a fashionable apartment in the stylish Chelsea area of London, which put them in the center of the city's cultural and artistic scene, and the historic Cobstone Windmill in Ibston, Buckinghamshire, a beautiful property that provided a peaceful countryside escape. Over time, however, the pressures from their differences and personal situations caused them to separate, and the marriage ended in divorce in 1977. During their marriage, they had a son, Crispian Mills, who would grow up surrounded by creative influences from both his parents. Crispian chose a career in music, eventually becoming the lead singer and guitarist for the raga rock band Kula Shaker, which mixed psychedelic rock with Indian musical styles, reflecting the artistic atmosphere in which he was raised. After her marriage with Bolting ended, Hayley Mills began a relationship with actor Lee Lawson, a connection that was both personal and professionally meaningful, as Lawson was a respected figure in British theater and film. In July 1976, Mills gave birth to their son, Jason Lawson, starting another important chapter in her life as a mother. The relationship, though passionate, had its own difficulties, and by the early 1980s, Mills and Lawson had separated. Despite ending their romantic relationship, their shared dedication to raising Jason and dealing with public attention helped shape Mills's experience as a parent and her strength in managing her private life while maintaining a demanding career. Years later, Mills found lasting companionship with actor and writer Firdos Bamji. Beginning their partnership in 1997, Mills and Bamji's relationship has been marked by mutual respect, creative connection, and a notable age difference, as Bamji is 20 years younger than her. The two first met while touring together in a stage production of The King and I, where they played the main roles, an experience that not only strengthened their professional teamwork, but also allowed a deep personal bond to grow. As of 2023, their relationship continues, showing Mills's ability to build long-lasting and meaningful partnerships in her personal life, even after earlier challenges. Their life together represents a mix of artistic teamwork, emotional support, and lasting companionship that complements Mills's celebrated career in film and theater. To fully understand why Hayley Mills refuses to revisit that 1961 episode, it's important to look at what child stardom meant during that era. The early 1960s were a time when young performers had very little protection from the grueling demands of the entertainment industry. Unlike today, where strict labor laws limit working hours for child actors and require on-set tutors and psychological support, young stars of Mills's generation were often treated like small adults who were expected to handle the same pressures as their grown-up co-stars. Mills herself has spoken about the intense schedule she maintained during her Disney years. She would wake before dawn for hair and makeup, spend entire days on set under hot studio lights, then face promotional appearances and interviews in the evening. Weekends were filled with photo shoots and publicity events. There was little time for normal childhood experiences, like playing with friends, attending school regularly, or simply being alone with her thoughts. The constant scrutiny meant she had to maintain a perfect image at all times, always smiling, always gracious, always the picture of innocent charm that audiences expected. The pressure was particularly intense because Mills was one of the first British child stars to achieve such massive success in American cinema. She carried not just her own reputation, but also represented a bridge between British and American entertainment. Walt Disney himself had taken a personal interest in her career, which added another layer of expectation. She is recalled feeling that disappointing him would be like disappointing a beloved uncle, making every performance feel like a test she couldn't afford to fail. This context helps explain why that particular 1961 television episode holds such difficult memories. It captured her at a moment when the facade was cracking, when exhaustion and anxiety had become impossible to hide completely. For someone who spent her entire youth trying to project perfection, that episode stands as uncomfortable evidence of her vulnerability during a time when she felt she had no right to be anything less than extraordinary.
Even though Hayley Mills has spent her whole life in front of cameras and has watched countless scenes from her long career, there is one thing she still cannot make herself watch again: a specific episode she filmed back in 1961, during the same busy period when The Parent Trap was making her an international star. For most fans, that time looks like a perfect chapter: sunny sets, Disney magic, and a young actress whose talent and charm seemed to come naturally. But for Hayley herself, one moment from that year sits like a heavy weight in her memory, something she has said many times she will never ever watch again. A specific episode she filmed back in 1961, during the same busy period when The Parent Trap was making her an international star. For most fans, that time looks like a perfect chapter: sunny sets, Disney magic, and a young actress whose talent and charm seemed to come naturally. But for Hayley herself, one moment from that year sits like a heavy weight in her memory, something she has said many times she will never ever watch again. The episode in question was part of a less-known television appearance Mills made when she was handling press tours, film rehearsals, and promotional work for The Parent Trap, all while carrying the burden of being Disney's new teen superstar. She has said many times that she felt huge pressure at 14, explaining that "I didn't fully understand what being in the public eye meant, and I was terrified of disappointing everyone: Walt, my parents, the crew, the fans." She described those early years as exciting, but also deeply overwhelming, as she found herself expected to be a perfect Disney girl at every moment. What makes this single episode so painful to her is the emotional state she was in at the time. She filmed it during a period when she was working almost non-stop: early call times, long shooting days, and late-night fittings and interviews.
Mills has remembered how physically and emotionally exhausted she was, admitting, "I look at myself in that episode in the still photos and I can see that I wasn't well. I was exhausted, I was anxious, and I felt like I was just trying to survive the day." She says it reminds her of a time when she felt lost inside the machine of early fame, pushed forward by the force of success she was too young to understand. Another reason for her discomfort comes from how she viewed her own performance. According to Hayley, the script required a tone and emotional depth she felt completely unprepared for at that age. "I remember thinking I wasn't good enough, not experienced enough, not confident enough," she said. Watching it now would bring back that vulnerable moment of teenage self-doubt, a time when she was scared that she would disappoint the very people who believed in her. She admitted that even the thought of hearing her younger self's voice from that episode makes her chest feel tight. Adding to all of this is the fact that her work in The Parent Trap was happening at the same time, which ironically makes the infamous episode feel even more out of place. While The Parent Trap showed her at her most bright and beloved, playing 2 roles and carrying the film with amazing charm, this smaller TV appearance captured her at a stressed low point. She once explained, "It was such a contrast. People saw me as happy, bright, and full of energy, but that episode, that was me when the camera stopped catching the sparkle." To her, watching it would be like opening a diary entry from a time she has no wish to revisit. In the years since, fans have sometimes tried to persuade her to talk about the episode, but she is always kind yet firm in her refusal. She acknowledges its place in her professional history, but does not want to turn it into a nostalgic moment or a point of interest. Instead, she sees it as a private picture of her younger self, one she prefers to leave in the past. Despite this painful chapter, Hayley Mills's refusal to watch that episode has become, in its own way, a powerful statement about self-compassion and the importance of protecting one's mental health. In recent years, as conversations about child star exploitation have become more public, Mills has been praised for her honesty about the darker side of early fame. She doesn't pretend that everything was magical, nor does she dismiss the very real toll that constant work took on her young mind and body. Her willingness to speak openly about that difficult time has resonated with a new generation of performers who face their own pressures in an age of social media and instant criticism. Many young actors have cited Mills as an inspiration, not just for her performances, but for her authenticity in discussing the challenges she faced. She has shown that it's possible to acknowledge pain without letting it define your entire story, and that setting boundaries, even about what parts of your past you're willing to revisit, is an act of strength rather than weakness. Today, at 78 years old, Hayley Mills continues to reflect on her extraordinary career with a mixture of pride, gratitude, and hard-won wisdom. She has made peace with most of her past, finding joy in reconnecting with fans who grew up watching her films and discovering new audiences through retrospectives and classic film celebrations. She remains active in select projects that interest her, choosing roles that challenge her and working only when the experience brings her fulfillment rather than stress. Her story serves as a reminder that behind every smiling face on screen, there's a real person with real struggles, real fears, and real limits. The fact that she still refuses to watch that one episode from 1961 doesn't diminish her remarkable achievements. Instead, it humanizes them. It reminds us that even the brightest stars have shadows, and that respecting those shadows is part of honoring the whole person. "Some things don't need to be relived," she has said with quiet finality. "And that one? Well, it's better left where it is." What do you think about Hayley Mills' decision to keep that episode in her past? Have you ever had moments from your own history that you prefer not to revisit? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about classic Hollywood's most beloved stars. If you enjoyed learning about Hayley's incredible journey from child star to respected actress, check out our other videos exploring the untold stories behind your favorite performers from the golden age of cinema.